I'm late. I'm so late. Sniff, sniff. Blech. I'm late. How will I ever get everyone to forgive me? Oh no, my mic is on. I didn't realize. Check it. Okay, let's get started. Well, ta-da! Oh, you know what? I'm realizing that, let's just load a little longer. Don't mind me. How's it going, Lou? Man, I've been coughing a lot lately. I've been coughing a lot. Well, I think I wonder if I'm getting sick. I sure hope not. I sure hope not. Hello, Eric Sweeney. Hi. Hi, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Are you here to talk about anime? 'Cause that's what I'm here to do. As soon as I get my webcam working. Which it seems to have done now. Man, I hope I am. I am not. I hope I am not getting sick. Okay. Well, where the hell am I? What the heck? There we go. Hi. Out of nowhere. I hope I'm not getting sick either. Either. But yes, thank you, Lou. You know what it could be? It could just be that the rivers are a little bit muddy today, or maybe there was like someone spilled some stuff into a river. That's how I work for the most part. And chat is not disabled for this live stream, so let me fix that real quick. Because it's lying right now, and I don't appreciate a liar, okay? You sick, yeah. In both meanings of the word, right? I'm pretty sick, aren't I? Okay. Okay. So, I don't really have any, like, specific plan for how I'm going to talk about stuff. But I sure as heck am going to talk, that's for sure. I'll start off asking you guys, what's your favorite animes? Do you know anime? Do you know anime? I like anime. Do you know what anime is? I sure like anime. Code Geass. Or Geass. Or Gas. Code Geass. Geass. What do we play? I'm not playing any games, Eric Sweeney. Unfortunately. No games today. Zero games. No games. We're not playing games. The first pronunciation was right. I'm just messing with ya. See, I very much enjoyed Code Geass, but I think I enjoyed it Geass Yes, sorry. Okay. I've, now I've actually forgotten which one I pronounced first, and I don't know which one's right anymore. Okay. But I actually like Code Geass quite a bit, but I think I enjoyed it for a different reason than most people. Although maybe it is the appeal, and this is the same reason that everyone likes it. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe. Basically, wait, I have notes on Code Geass. Let me see. I'll find it for you, okay? I'll find it for you. Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. Just give me 1 second, please. Ah, here it is. Okay. I thought I had more notes than I have. All I have written is fun. Sorry to disappoint. um, but yeah, Good Guess was fun. It was a fun show. All fun. I haven't seen the movie that came out sort of recently-ish, which is kind of a spoiler for the end of the show, as far as I know. But I did finish it, so that's good. I'll be trying to avoid spoilers throughout most of this stream, so wish me luck on that one. But yeah, Code Geass, I think I haven't seen the that either because it requires the recap movies. Oh, does it? Interesting. Well, I don't know. I might just watch it without the recap movies. Hell. But I think Code Geass is, I don't want to say overrated because it's appreciated and it's good, but I think people are appreciating it for almost the wrong reason. Because I think that Code Geass is like, I think it's the reason, it's like the reason people like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but it does it better. It's just like dumb shit that you just love to watch. Like everything in Code Geass doesn't really make sense, but they just do it so confidently. You just have to love it every time. So, so that's why I like Code Geass. It's just like silly stuff, and there's so much like, there's so many things where it's like, oh, this is happening because it's dumb, but I love it. I'm so happy that it's happening right now. So I have a slightly, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion about Code Geass, but I do like it. I just don't think I like it for the same reason that everyone else does. From whatever I tell people that this reason, it's like they're always like, oh, well, I actually liked the show, so screw you. That's kind of what happens, right? I love that show, so super biased. Yeah, man, it's fun though. It's a lot of fun. It's just a fun time overall, and that's what's most important, right? That it's just you have fun. Everyone's taste varies, exactly, and I have a very tasty taste when it comes to animes, my Japanese cartoons. So I'm not even sure where I should start, but I thought I would go over a little bit about like oh, I know the perfect place to start. I'll start with the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Or, if you want to say it in Japanese, like if you're a super mega omega weeb, Suzumiya Haruhi no Yutsu. No Yutsu. And then disappearance is no Shoshitsu? Something like that. Shoshitsu? I think it's Shitsu at the end. So it's Shoshitsu. But yes, let's start with this. I think that, God, I just love Haruhi, you know, so much. And for a while, I was making every single one of my friends watch it for the sake for them to be my friend, you know. I was like, okay, if you want to be my friend, you have to watch Haruhi. It's a requirement. I made it a requirement. There was no time limit, but it was a requirement. And I think for one of them, it took like like 3 or 4 years, but I got him to watch it, and he liked it, so that's good. But yes, the reasons I like Haruhi. So the thing about Haruhi is I don't even think it's I don't even think it's an amazing show, but it's a 10 from me because it's like so special in my heart. It was one of the first anime I watched. One of the first. other than like kid anime, I guess, like other than like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemons and that kind of stuff. So I have a big appreciation for it. Because it was like my first anime, like anime-y anime, you know? It had like moe in it. And I didn't even know at the time when I first watched it, but it was like a mishmash of all of these moe aspects and all of these like anime tropes and kind of making fun of them. So I think because Haruhi was one of the first anime I watched, it just made it so that I was inherently gonna hate anime tropes. I screwed myself, basically. But yeah, the parts about it that I love, I mean, it's just funny. It's just like that good old 2000s anime. It's like it's end of 2000s though. It's like 2000 and what year? 2009 for one of them, and 2006 for the first season. But yeah, it's just it's such quintessential anime, right? It's like fun stuff. They're just doing things, and then the twist, which I won't spoil, but the twist in like the early episodes, it's not a big twist. I mean, everyone knows that Haruhi's God at this point, but like the twist when you realize it's not just like a school anime was just fun, right? And there's a lot of like psychological and mind stuff that you can talk about, and there's time travel. Who doesn't love time travel? Speaking of time travel, why don't we just go right on in to Steins Gate? I love Steins Gate. I have an unpopular opinion on that show. Oh! I'd love to hear. Well, you don't have to tell me, but yeah, on Haruhi. Yeah, you can tell me, or you don't have to. But Steins Gate, I love Steins Gate so much. Personally, couldn't get through that show. I completely understand. It's not even it's not even. I don't blame you, right? It also depends how you watched it, because there are definitely better ways to watch it. First few anime that I dropped. Oh damn. But no, it definitely depends how you watch it, because there's multiple ways to drop it. If you're just watching season 1, I don't think it's very good. I like the season 1 and 2 order better. One sec. And rewatch and finish it though one day. You better. If only for the sake of the movie, I would say. Because I definitely think the anime is maybe not the cream of the crop, but the movie is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I spilled water all over myself. Man, I'm all clumsy. You saw the movie. The movie was definitely more enjoyable. The movie's so good. But the movie doesn't even make sense if you drop the anime. What the heck? Cheater. Okay. I'm going to move on and talk about Steins Gate for a little bit. I gave Steins Gate a 9. I don't think it's perfect, but it's close. It's definitely close. My rating system is weird too, because love Steins Gate. Yeah, Steins Gate is great. My rating system is weird because I gave Haruhi a 10, even though I think it has flaws. I just love it so much that it makes up for the flaws. Okay, the thing about Steins Gate, where'd it go? The thing about Steins Gate is that there's just so much going on in terms of like the layers. If you think back on watching Steins Gate, there's just so much. It's like it just messes with your head. Again, I love time travel, so it's just I'm immediately gonna have an upper high opinion of Steins Gate, and it does time travel really, really well too. It has lovable characters. I think Steins Gate has some of the best characters in any anime ever. Every character is like very unique, very fun to be around, and all of the characters have great like synergy. They all work well off each other and together, and that's the formula for a great show. I mean, if anything, Steins Gate is more a show about the characters than the plot, but the plot itself is good too. So when you just put all those things together, I mean, it's just gonna be great. It's just gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time. So yeah, And then bleh. Excuse me. Let's see where I can go from this. Oh yeah, Steins Gate Zero. I did watch Steins Gate Zero, but I might even say don't watch Steins Gate Zero. I've told people in the past not to watch Steins Gate Zero because I did not like Steins Gate Zero. And if you're someone who feels that a bad sequel can ruin the original, then don't watch Steins Gate Zero. However, I don't think that personally, I don't think nah, that's not me. Okay, yeah, personally, I'm not that way either. I can watch a sequel and separate it from the original, and I'm perfectly fine with perfectly fine with that. Like Steins Gate Zero, I watched, and the issue with Steins Gate Zero is I feel like it just got lazy, sort of. Did I give Steins Gate Zero a 6 or a 5 or a 4? Let me find it. I gave it a 5. Excuse me. So, all five bad Code Geass Akito movies are ruined Code Geass for me. So there's that. I don't even know what these are. Code Geass Akito. Oh, it's another character. They're trash. Okay. Well, excuse me. Yeah, I thought Steins Gate Zero was very not great. A lot of people liked it still though, but God, there was so much weird stuff that happened that was not good in it. I'd be really curious. See, with Steins Gate Zero, I'm actually really curious to see if the problem was the source material or if it was the oh god, or if it was the directing and the adaptation into the anime. So yeah, the adaptation. So I'd love to play through the visual novel and see what that's like, because I played part of the original Steins Gate visual novel, but it's like so almost exact to the adaptation, at least from what I've gone through so far, that it was like hard to get through, because I just recently watched Steins Gate and I'm trying to play this visual novel and I'm like, it's all the same, and I was getting bored. But because I'm someone that's it's actually really hard for me to rewatch shows, because I don't know, I guess I remember them really well, and I like the surprise of something new happening and all that and all that fun stuff. Although now it's been a while since I've watched Steins Gate, but I do think I like the Steins Gate, the original anime, better than the visual novel so far from what I've done. All right, so there's that. Let's head back. I'd like to talk about. Ooh, I'm just scrolling through my list right now. Oh, you know what? I want to talk about No Game No Life. Oh, and then I want to talk about this studio. Okay, No Game No Life. I think it was weird because, God, I should really read the light novel. I wonder if it's any good, because I remember watching it, and when I first watched it, I thought it was like. See, I watched it when I was a little bit younger, and before I was like confident in my taste in anime, I guess, which is a weird thing to say, but yeah. And I didn't realize it was popular when I had watched it. And to me, it seemed like one of those anime that was like really trashy and everyone hated, because anything that was like too lewd or too like just anything with like that type of, you know what I'm talking about, like that type of stuff in it, I always was thought of as like worse or not as good or whatever it might be, right? So with No Game No Life, I watched through the whole thing and I liked it, and I didn't like. I think I remember it was a long time ago. I think I remember even not knowing how to find more seasons, or like not understanding that there was no other season, and I just thought I couldn't find it, which was kind of funny. But excuse me, but yeah, man, I swear I'm dying. But I did not think it was like well received. So I had liked it a decent amount, but then man, my brain is just slowing down. I liked it a decent amount. I don't even know where I was going with that. Who cares? Anyway, No Game No Life, good show. I give it a 7. Because I think I rewatched it recently, and I watched it through, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cheesy, but it's really just fun. And there's nothing more to it. I think, I might bump it up to an 8 now, because I tend to appreciate like visual stim. For me, a 7 is actually pretty good, because I go based on like 5 average, kind of, sort of. I have a weird rating system. But yeah, I thought it was okay. The only note I have for it is fun as well. I guess when I think a show is fun, it's a 7. What are some other 7s I have? I'm curious. It was very average to me whenever I first watched it, but it was very pretty. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I might bump it up to an 8 now, because like of how good it looked in general. Because I think it just looked really nice. Oh gosh, I have aggressive Agretzko as a 7. Agretzko was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed watching Agretzko, because I watched it. I tend to enjoy anime that I watch on my couch a lot more than when I watch at my computer at my desk, because I don't know. It's like I like being comfy when I'm watching stuff, and my couches are so comfortable. I don't know if you haven't sat on a couch recently, you don't realize how much more comfortable a couch is than like a desk chair. You could just sink into a couch. You don't even have to care. You're just in there. You're just sleeping almost nearly. You could basically be almost sleeping. My bed is a couch, so I understand. Holy crap. But yeah, couches are comfy as heck. Excuse me. Couches are super comfy. Oh yeah, sorry for being late to the stream and for delaying it too, because I was eating a burrito. I was like, man, I should eat something before I stream so that I'm not complaining during stream about being hungry. So I made burritos, and while I was eating them, I was like, oh, I was supposed to start the stream now. So I was 10 minutes late because I was finishing up that burrito. Maybe I should have only eaten one, but I didn't want to leave the meat out or have to put it away and then take it back. It just felt more efficient to eat two, whenever that happens. Okay. Some other 7s that I have are, this one. What is this called in English? Erased. I give Erased a 7. Erased has been like one of the most, like either high rated or low rated I've seen on people's lists for the most part. I do have some notes on Erased. I wrote mystery, watched with friends. I don't remember watching it with friends, but I also watched Erased I've not seen that show, but I've heard many things from it. Yeah. Erased actually had a live action adaptation that I watched a little bit of, and it's a really faithful adaptation. From the little bit of it that I saw. I watched like a few episodes from the start, and I feel like that's very rare. But it's a Japanese adaptation, so it's Japanese actors and all in Japan and stuff, so like really accurate in terms of to the original. And there's only a few things that are different from what I saw. But yeah, I was really impressed with how that the live action show was, and like even a lot of the shots were similarly shot. Like the directing style was very similar. The one thing from Erased that I know is that the people that didn't like it were really bothered by the way the show resolved. But for me, the resolution didn't even like bother me that much. So the ending, yeah, it didn't bother me as much. So I don't really hate it. But I do still think it wasn't like I thought it was good. I enjoyed it a lot while I was watching it. And I think that's a big factor to consider. Like some shows that I think are really good, I struggle to enjoy them, which is a very odd experience. I don't know. It's weird because there's some shows that I really like and want to enjoy a lot, but there's something about them that's just hard to watch. But excuse me. I think a good example of that is the Monogatari series. I know everyone loves this series, but to me, it's just kind of boring. I couldn't make it through the first season, and I'm gonna try again because I want to watch it and I want to like it. But there's something about it that's just kind of boring. And there's another show based on a light novel by the same author, Katanagatari, or Sword Story, or whatever you want to call it in English. And I'm watching that right now, and I like it better than the Monogatari series. Like, I think it's watchable, for me at least, but also, like, same problem. I want to love it so much. It's dialogue heavy based, so I understand how it's boring. Yeah, but I have enjoyed other dialogue heavy shows. There's something about it that I struggle to enjoy. I don't know. I wish I could figure it out. Maybe like, cause I'm really, as a person that watches anime, I'm really into like all of the aspects of the show. Like I'm really into plot and the writing of things, but I also am really, really into the directing of how things are put together and presented on the screen. I think that's really interesting to me. So a lot of the time, that's kind of what I end up focusing on is the directing. Like, a good example of this is a show that a lot of people said wasn't very good, Kakegurui, which is the gambling show. I thought it was actually decent, but it might have just been being carried, because I watched that all in, like, God, a day or two or something. It was 12 episodes, and I just watched all of it, because it was on Netflix. When it's on Netflix, it's just so easy to watch. But yeah, I watched all of it so quickly. And I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I had a lot of fun just with the even though the gambling was really predictable, I just had a lot of fun with how dramatic everything was. It was just so over dramatic, and I thought the directing was great on that. So I think that's an example of a show I give a 7. That I think the directing in carried more so than anything else. It's good, you know? Yeah. That the directing carried more so than anything else. Although it might have just been the OP, the intro that carried it, because I loved that OP so much. I listened to it every single time. Or was it the ED? I think it was both of them, honestly. I think those two actually carried the show. I just wanted to make it through another episode so that I can listen to the ED again, or the OP again. The OP is catchy, yeah. The OP and the ED. I do remember the ED being good too. But then Kakegurui gets another season, and I try watching it, and I just can't. I just can't make it through it at all. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if the directing dropped the ball. I wasn't paying as much attention, but I don't know if it was the directing that dropped the ball, or just I couldn't, or just maybe like everything else dropped the ball so much that the directing couldn't keep it held up anymore. I don't know what it was, but it just, second season was not good. So that was fun. Boy. Let's see. Oh, Soul Eater is another great one. Soul Eater, I think, is really fun, because for me, God, Soul Eater, I actually had heard about it so much before I'd watched it, and it was one of those rare shows that was popular enough and like cartoony enough that my friends had all watched it as well before I had. Because I do think Soul Eater is very like Western cartoony inspired. It has like those thicker lines on it and that kind of stuff. So I think Soul Eater was was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun show. It felt like a cartoon, really. It reminded me of all the fun that is involved in cartoons. I like its premise and art style. Yeah, it's a cool show. It has a cool premise too, yeah. God, I like I have an unnatural adoration for scythes. Scythes? I don't know which one it is. I have an unnatural adoration for scythes. Anyway, I just love scythes. Fuck. I don't know what it is. They're so cool. I love them so much. So anyway, I loved Soul Eater. Something else about Soul Eater is I watched it a lot. I watched it like around the same time that I watched Kill la Kill. So when I watched Soul Eater, I was like, wow, this is really impressive. They're animating everything and they're not showing any panty shots. This is crazy. Because Maka has so many. Her name's Maka, right? It is Maka. I'm just gonna make sure. Yeah, Maka Albarn has so many like dynamic shots where they have to actually try to hide panty shots. She's the main female character. Maka's the is it brown hair? It's like a beigey hair. I don't know, it's like beigey blonde or whatever. It has a cool color palette, I think Soul Eater does. Nothing's too vibrant. It's really nice. But yeah, I thought oh wait. You're talking about Soul Eater. Yeah, it's Soul Eater. No, that's Mako. They have similar names, you're right. But yes, Mako is the brown hair one in Kill la Kill. But I was watching them around the same time. And in Kill la Kill, there were like so many. I mean, obviously it's like meant to be over sexualized, so there were a lot of moments where I'm just like, oh my god, they're like animating Maka in such a way that they have to try to not do fucking panty shots because she's wearing like a short skirt too, so it's not even hard. They wouldn't have to try very hard, but I was impressed to say the least. It would have been easier in some of those animation shots just to fucking animate the panties, right? But good old anime. Making sure to stick to the show's purpose, right? Personally found Kill la Kill to be painful to watch. Painful! Oh my god, I love Kill la Kill so much. Excuse me. I love Kill la Kill so much. It's just so unabashedly sexual. It's just so much fun. Kill la Kill is actually a 10 out of 10 from me because there's so much about it that you can read into in terms of like what the meaning of all the what the meaning of everything going on in the show is. There's so much like underlying like thematic purpose and meaning behind everything that's going on, but it's also just so like visually stunning and visually like crazy for the eyes. And the animation in Kill la Kill is amazing. I think the animation in Kill la Kill is what made me realize that I really do love animation in and of itself. Kill la Kill is also just one of those super hype shows, kind of like Gurren Lagann, which I mean makes sense because not same studio, but like the same people worked on it. Because Gurren Lagann was like one of the last Gainax shows with all the Trigger staff. Because then everyone went off and they formed Trigger and obviously did all that stuff. Trigger is got to be one of my favorite studios. I mean, you can't. I have a few studios that I like to watch and look at. It was so draining and frustrating for me. The animation was gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, and I didn't have any problems with the fan service either. Sad I couldn't enjoy that show. Damn. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that show. But yeah, that's a shame. Oh yeah, the other studio that I pay attention to a lot is the studio called Studio Colorido or whatever it's called. They made Penguin Highway, which is one of their more known things. They also made a bunch of like commercials and stuff. They also made that movie that was on Netflix called God, I don't know the English name. Let's see. Called A Whisker Away, which was okay. I never watched Penguin Highway actually. I still have to. But this is one of the other studios that I'm watching a lot. Oh my god, I have an entire rant that I could go through. Oh my god, I have an entire rant that I could go through about A Whisker Away. I thought the villain in A Whisker Away was awful. I thought they handled the villain and the ending of the movie terribly. Oh my god, okay. Wait, I have it written down. It's actually a script for a video I was going to make a while ago that I never made. So I'll just open up the script. Let me find it. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna read through it because I can't paraphrase this. It's like too dense for me to paraphrase. This is pretty long, but it won't take that long. It'll take like maybe 5 minutes at most, I think. All right, one sec. Okay, I might need to get water midway through too. While very cute and filled with heartwarming moments, I just can't bring myself to say that A Whisker Away was any good. Most of the film being fairly unproblematic, I wasn't expecting it to raise much of a bother inside me. That was until the significant involvement of one specific character, the mask seller. Now, let me explain what I mean and how to fix the problem that we have here. I'm not necessarily saying this character is bad, just that the conflict created from this character's involvement is bad. The first issue comes from when Muge loses her human mask. Muge has a moment of realization that being a cat may not be so bad, and admits that she's done with being Mio. And in that moment, her mask falls off. Immediately afterwards, the mask seller explains the consequences and that she won't ever be able to become a human again without getting her mask back. Right? No problems. Our main conflict of the movie then comes when Muge realizes that Muge, I believe, I haven't watched this movie in a while, but I believe Muge is the name of the cat, or is her name when she's a cat, and Mio is her name when she's a human, right? I think so. Like the main female character. When Muge realizes that she would really rather continue being human, people still care about her, as seen by her friends, mainly Hinode, searching for where she's gone. This all makes sense. We now have a girl trying to get her identity back and trying to become herself again. I also have a note here. Excuse me. I have a note here that says potentially put this in, and I want to emphasize that she's trying to become herself again. This whole cat thing is a metaphor for being someone you're not, especially just to please a boy. That's fun. I wonder if that's actually true, but I wrote that as just like a note. But yeah, that does probably make sense if that's true. Okay. As the movie unfolds, Muge realizes that she has to act quickly. She's losing her ability to understand human speech. One problem, her body seems to be inhabited by one furry friend of hers, Kinako the cat. Kinako has her body for a reason, though, to repay her owner, also Muge's stepmother. I loved this development. Now we have a true villain. Kinako is keeping the mask from Muge. Even if Muge went to bug the mask seller, he wouldn't be able to do anything. He could easily throw his hands up in the air and say, "Go convince Kinako, I can't do anything." However, this isn't exactly what happened. Kinako didn't become the villain. She concluded on her own that she wanted to give the mask back to Muge. This conclusion coming from her seeing how much her owner missed her as a cat. Later, we have some continued misadventures of Muge inside of Cat Island, learning even more why she should go back to being a cat. And to me, this whole sequence felt redundant, but that's not what I'm talking about mainly here. So eventually, we find ourselves at the scene which had me audibly saying, "Oh no," because I saw what was coming. Kinako was inside of Muge's body, and Hinode find themselves at the mask seller shop. Right, this was in the cat like tree or whatever. Did I call it Cat Island? Yeah, it was an island, right? It was like in the sky. God, I'm just remembering everything about this movie now. Okay, eventually audibly saying, "Oh no," because I saw what was coming. Kinako inside of Muge's body and Hinode find themselves at the mask seller's shop, demanding that she wishes to return this face to Muge. And this is when we have the ultimate slip-up. It may seem like something small to you, but this changes everything. The mask seller proceeds to explain that he can't do that, and instead, he'd just take her portion of Muge's lifespan instead. Now, what is this? Suddenly, we have an all-powerful god character. So what was stopping the mask seller from doing this beforehand? Nothing. Why is he deciding to take the lifespan now? No reason. I have something written in brackets here. I have suspicion that this may be an empty threat, but even if it is, we have the same issue of the mask seller becoming a god character later. Okay. You see, what's happening here is that the writers realized there's no more conflict in the story. If the mask seller acts reasonably along the lines of, oh yes, just bring Muge here and you can make the exchange, or, well, that has nothing to do with me, go find Muge, or just even saying anything and explaining that he can't do anything about it, in this scenario, Kinako would just go find Muge and give her the mask back. Then Muge can forfeit her cat mask, knowing that Hinode really does care about her. No conflict, everything is resolved, everything goes back to normal. Obviously, this would make for a fairly lame movie, so essentially, all that would have happened is... So essentially, all that would have happened in the movie is Muge using a cat mask for stealth missions on her crush, and that's not exactly a very engaging cinematic experience. So, understandably, they decided against this route. Or did they? I cannot begin to describe how much it pains me to explain the events that follow. The mask seller, after trapping Hinode and Kinako in his shop, decides to, for whatever reason, tell Muge that he's trapped Hinode and Kinako in his shop. I can't really comprehend why this decision would have been made, other than to show the mask seller is stupid, I guess? Man, I have some sass in the script. He then slips up and tells Muge that he's after her lifespan as well, but this just seemed like a gag to me, and Muge had already decided she wanted to become a human again, so I let it slide. The mask seller is restrained, Muge is brought to his shop, and Hinode and Kinako are broken out. Well, what is this? Now we have the exact situation I outlined before. Is the movie over? What's happened? No more conflict? Wrong. Instead, she is unable to turn back, and the explanation for this is, deep down, she believes turning back will only bring her pain and suffering, or whatever the hell they said. And I, for one, cannot just accept that as a fact. Muge has clearly seen and been explained to why it's bad for her to stay a cat and that people want her as a human. There is zero evidence that would suggest she has any restraints about turning back. Yet for some reason, the writers decided it would be best for her to have these feelings deep down. If that isn't bullshit, then I don't know what is. And honestly, the worst part isn't that this is happening, it's that it didn't need to happen. Quite literally, seconds later, our god character, the mask seller, bursts through the floor and steals Muge. This could have easily happened a couple seconds earlier and spared us the need for a BS plot-serving explanation. Or hell, it could have happened entire scenes earlier. Why didn't the mask seller ever just decide to steal Muge in the first place? Why didn't he just take her from the start instead of letting her wander into the Cat Island place? I don't know. But anyway, there are no answers to these questions because the writers probably didn't even think of them. So more god character mask seller occurs after like a little chase scene through like the trees and stuff, and then Hinode and Muge are reunited and then collectively taken away for their lifespans to be stolen. And yeah, I did mention the mask seller appears to be able to fly, so that's fun. What does that mean? Sorry. I'm just like reading. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, yes, the mask seller, I think, did I forget to mention the mask seller appears? Okay, I just forgot the word forget and had some words arranged. Okay, never mind, sorry. Blech. Did I forget to mention the mask seller appears to be able to fly, so that's fun. Yes, because he's a god character now. After a lot of trying and failing by the part of Muge and Hinode, eventually the cats we'd met before in the human cat bar restrain the mask seller, and Muge gets her lifespan back, her mask back, and she's able to go live happily ever after. Excuse me. So what is the problem with this ending? For me, it's that the climax was super lame. The climactic moment here was essentially the same thing that had happened in the previous sequence and not worked for no apparent reason. And this time, it did work. Again, for no apparent reason. So I wouldn't say that Muge's understanding of herself had developed much from the last time to this time. Yet for some reason, now she's able to put her human mask back on. I actually remember this part. It was like when she did the backflip, or she had to do the backflip, right? Or the front flip, or I forget whatever it was. It was a flip. She was flipping, right? And she tried it before, and it just didn't work. And then she tried it like 10 minutes later, and it did work. So, I don't know. To me, it was really dumb, because there's no way you're going to have any meaningful development. And they didn't touch on any meaningful development about that either. I do remember that. That was super lame to me. Where was I? Along with that, for some reason, the cats are now yes. Nothing had changed. Yes. Blah, blah, blah. The fundamental issue here is we have an inability to properly portray good conflict and good resolution of conflict. And I have to say, the most annoying thing about this is how simple of a fix it is. And then I go on to fix it. So finally, now let's fix it. So one of our biggest problems was the mask seller having god powers, yet not using them for the sake of the plot, right? Okay, so he had these god powers, yet didn't always use them. Well then, let's change this character around a little bit, and instead of needing the mask seller to be our main villain, he can be a sort of godlike and somewhat mischievous and misleading person. And so not much is really changing here. He's just not like super evil, and he's not our main villain. Instead of having the lifespan taking process be a literal one where they need to be in the same room, make it an automatic one, which happens when the mask seller takes their mask. This way, he doesn't need to kidnap anybody, and he will gain nothing from kidnapping anybody either. Now, the mask seller is essentially like a sleazy business type person, misleading people and not giving them all the information on the exchange which was being made, which kind of felt like that was supposed to be the original intention behind the character, but then something changed along the way. I don't know, but that's really how he felt when they first introduced him. So anyway, without the mask seller as our main villain, we need a new one. And who better to choose than Kinako? I loved the idea that they had going with Kinako wanting Muge's body in order to repay her owner. So let's keep that. And instead of Kinako coming to the conclusion that she wants to give the human body or the human mask back to Muge, have her fight with that idea, but instead concluding that it would be better for her to overcome the pain and continue on in Muge's body. Okay, so now we have an actual conflict between Muge and Kinako. They both want the human mask. So most of the events in the movie can stay the same right up until Kinako's decision to become a cat again. Instead of getting Hinode, instead of getting Hinode and bringing him to the cat island, we can skip all that and follow Muge as she tries to track down the mask seller to convince him to give her lifespan back. Excuse me. We can even keep the scene with the human cat bar to pad playtime, because apparently they needed that. Or if we cut stuff out, they might, But yeah, we can keep that scene. So it turns out that Kinako lied about needing to see the mask seller, and he can't help. So then she returns to find Kinako. Since Kinako's the villain, it would make sense that she's lying. So then Muge returns to find Kinako again. And the movie can be filled with some more events of Kinako as we see her try and fit into society as a human, perhaps even failing and starting to doubt her decision, right? So then our climactic moment can now be Muge finding Kinako with Hinode right as she's running out of time and her lifespan begins to get sucked away. Without much time left, Muge has an intense speech about... God, where am I? Muge has an intense speech about who she cares for and how much she cares about those that she loves, realizing that there are many people who are important to her, and her stepmother, aka Kinako's owner, as well. So she can assure Kinako that she'll treat her well and that she misses her cat, Kinako, and she needs her back, right? So all the doubts that Kinako had are now reinforced, and instead of Kinako coming to the conclusion herself, Muge will now come to that conclusion for her. Kinako can forfeit her human mask over to Muge, and in an emotionally climactic moment, Hinode can see the cat, can see this cat that he's known as Taro. No, Taro. Why? Muge and... What? Taro is the cat, right? Wow, I'm confused. Okay, anyway. Over to Muge, and in an emotionally climactic moment, Hinode can see this cat that he's known as Taro and even suspected of being oddly similar to Muge transform into the girl he's come to care about. Transform into the girl he's come to care about. Yes, there we go. The mask seller can be disappointed that his scheme didn't work out, and everyone who isn't a sleazy business type wins. The end. Oh, and the denouement can even stay pretty much the same, with Kinako coming home and being on good terms with Muge, because Muge was able to convince her. So ultimately, I can't help but feel like a lot of the elements at fault were added in to pad the movie's runtime. But that didn't need to happen at all. More time in a movie isn't a good thing all the time, especially when you can use it to better develop. Wait, isn't a bad thing? Wait, what am I even talking about? Okay, I don't know what this little end part is. Blah, blah, blah. Either way, that's why I thought A Whisker Away kind of sucked and how I thought to fix it. So yeah. Ta-da! That's all I got. That was a good rant. I very much enjoyed it. Okay, I'm gonna get water. Because I'm thirsty now. So give me a sec. What? What? Hi, I'm back. With water. Wow. But yeah. That is my Whisker Away rant. I think what it is, her actual name was Mio, but people called her Muge, right? I think that's what it actually was. I don't remember why people called her Muge, but they did. Okay, anyway. But yeah, I actually love the studio that does these anime. I think they look really nice, really pretty. And you know what they did recently? They did Burn the Witch in October. Yeah, I do vaguely remember that wildcard thing a little bit. She was crazy. She was like actually just crazy. I remember that too. I'm like way too obsessed with this boy. Anyway, so yeah. But yeah, Studio Colorido did Burn the Witch recently. And Burn the Witch is it's the new manga by the mangaka that did Bleach, I believe. Blah. Yeah, it is. And man, I heard so many people saying they didn't think Burn the Witch was super special. Yeah, it is. It's the new Burn the Witch is the new manga by the same mangaka as that did Bleach, because Bleach ended recently, sort of, or did it, or was it a while ago? I don't remember. Anyway, it's his new manga, and got an anime adaptation, and it's just like it's like an adaptation, I believe, an adaptation of a one shot, but there's actually more. There's more being made right now, as far as I know. And Studio Colorido did the one shot adaptation. It's 3 episodes, or it's like a movie more than anything. I think it's actually counts as a movie more than it counts as like 3 episodes. How long is each episode? Because I think they're like 40 minutes or 30 minutes each. Oh, they're 21 minutes each, so it's like an hour long. It's not even that long. But I loved it. I don't know why. I just loved it. Everything about it was so much fun. I liked the characters' designs. It felt like, I don't know, it was cool. It was like Harry Potter-y, but with dragons, and they were British, and it was so much fun. But yeah, Studio Colorido, another studio I really like a lot, along with Trigger. Wow. See, I wasn't sure I'd be able to just talk about anime straight up for an hour, but I think I can. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, I recommend it. It's a short watch, so I think it's worth it. Why don't we talk about March Comes In Like a Lion? Have you ever seen March Comes In Like a Lion? Question. Oh yeah, sure, go ahead. I want to hear your question before you answer mine, okay? Are you a seasonal watcher? Kind of. I try to. Okay, the reason I try to be a seasonal watcher is because I really like partaking in seasonal discussion. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it's like one of the things that makes anime so special, because there are these seasons where things are coming out fairly regularly, and it feels like the release, it's still like TV release schedule, you know? Whereas nowadays we have Netflix type stuff, which all just drops at once, which all just drops at once, and it's harder to talk about it with people because there's just so much to talk about. But when things still get released episodically, bleh, then it's a lot easier to talk about things. This is one of the reasons I loved, even though it kind of sucked, at least in the second half, Darling in the Franxx, was because it came out seasonally. Have seen March Comes in Like a Lion. I enjoyed the show, but unfortunately the person I watched it with kind of put shackles on my watching experience. That's interesting. I don't know what that means, but okay. That's a shame. I feel like I've loved that show, but unfortunately I didn't get to love it. I just like it. Oh, I see. For me, I gave it a 10. I think it's like, I think it's basically perfect. I don't know what else they would do to it to make it better. Like, maybe make the rewatch value better, because I tried rewatching it and I wasn't enjoying it much, but it was incredible. It was. God, oh, but back to the episodic thing. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I enjoyed Darling in the Franxx. I don't think it was a great show necessarily, but all of my friends were watching it at the same time as me, and like most of the internet was watching it at the same time as me. So every time a new episode came out, I could go and talk about it with my friends, or go and talk about it on the internet with other people, right? So that was a lot of fun, and I think Darling in the Franxx specifically was like a really good show to talk about episodically, especially once it started going to shit, because we could just be like, yo, what the fuck is happening? So interesting anime. But yeah, I love watching episodically with people. So I wish I could be more of a seasonal watcher. And speaking of which, I am not currently watching any anime this season because I think that there's not a lot of good shows that come out. The only thing I'm watching currently, actually, I think the second episode would have come out. Is the only thing this season is what's it called? Attack on Titan. Sorry, Attack on Titan, the final season, right? That's happening right now. Or that's a next season show that just started early, right? Yeah, it is. Is the second episode out yet, though? Because the first episode was the 7th of December. So I wonder. It should be, if it's weekly. But yeah, this season, the fall 2020 season, I didn't watch any anime. The second episode is out. Yeah, I'll have to watch that then. But yeah, I don't think I watched anything from the fall 2020 season. I didn't think it was worth it to watch the dungeon one, because I don't know. I don't even know how I got through. I actually watched season 1 and I think season 2 of, I think it's called Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Is this what it's called? Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Yeah. Danmachi. Yes. Danmachi I did not watch, even though I somehow watched season 1 and 2. I didn't like Danmachi. Really. I'm not watching Jujutsu Kaisen, even though I saw like a lot about it online. Like a lot about it. Haikyuu, I actually just started watching Haikyuu recently. I just made it through, I think, season 1 and 2, so I have more to watch. So I'm not caught up with Haikyuu. Because I just watched everything that was on Netflix, and then I got too lazy to Google. I got too lazy to go to one of the websites, and I don't know. I just watched whatever was on Netflix, and then I'm like, oh, I'm done now, right? This is all I need to do. But no, there's more. So I'll watch whatever more there is. Haikyuu started to feel kind of repetitive and boring after the first 2 seasons. But I think that was because they started like, I don't know if you noticed this, but the only thing I notice when I watch Haikyuu is the times where they use the same animation, like for a receive or for a serve. They must have used that serve animation like 50 times. I don't know. But holy crap, I understand why they do it. I just notice it every time, and it bothers me every time. I'm like, oh, there's the serve again. Or I'm like, oh, there's that receive again. I've seen that one before. So it's like the matches just feel like a mishmash of like receives and serves and spikes that I've seen before and blocks, and I'm just like, oh, okay. But I liked it, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was fun. I don't know. I will have to watch more. Oh god, what else was this season? Higurashi. I want to watch the original before I watch the remake of Higurashi. I love that dang show. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I should watch more. Higurashi, I want to watch the original before I watch the new one. I do know a little bit about Higurashi, and it's like fucked up and everything. I don't know to what extent, so I'm kind of excited. But I'm not getting my hopes up too much because I did once get my hopes up too much when watching I'm enjoying Higurashi as much as I did the first one, which is not much. Oh. I know it's kind of fucked up, so I hope it's fucked up actually. Because I heard Madoka Magica had like a really like messed up third episode, right? That you ever hear of that? Like, oh, Madoka Magica, the third episode is crazy. That's all it got talked about on the internet was Madoka Magica's third episode. Anyway, so I start watching Madoka Magica expecting something crazy in the third episode. And I get to the third episode. And it's just a character death that had been foreshadowed for the first 3 episodes. That's all that happens. So I'm like, oh, the dark show is dark. Who'd have guessed? I was so disappointed that I fucking dropped Madoka right there. Even though I bet it's probably like a decent show. I don't know. I only made it 3 episodes in. Well, and I liked it. It was okay, right? But I fucking dropped it out of just frustration. I was like, this is fucked up. Why would you lie to me? So anyway, I just quit there. I'll watch it again eventually, probably. But I was so pissed. I was just like, this is bullshit. I knew she was going to die. Someone had to die. There's no way the show can be this dark and no one can die. You gotta wonder what the people that were watching it originally were thinking. Because I know when it first came out, the creator was like, it was a big deal because the creator was like, he did a lot of horror and creepy stuff, or the director or whatever, did a lot of creepy, horror-y type stuff, right? So the way he was marketing the show was that, oh, I'm turning a new leaf. I'm doing like magical girl stuff now, right? So you have to wonder how no one picked up on the fucking foreshadowing and the dark elements in the show. It wasn't like a magical girl show at all. From the first episode, you could tell it's not a magical girl show. If you want an episode, or if you want a show that does like that type of bait and switch really well, then go watch. Oh my god, what's it called? That not zombie show. It's not a zombie show at all. God, what's it called? That's a spoiler. But it's the first episode. It's not a spoiler, but it kind of is a spoiler. I forget what it's called now. Oh god. I only know the name. The one with the pink hair. Yeah, I think so. It's like the schoolgirls, and they're all just having fun, and I think everything's all right. And the one girl is like delusional and thinks everything's all right, even though it's not, and they're in a zombie apocalypse or whatever. That show has an amazing bait and switch. It's so good. Yeah, it's so good. But like Madoka doesn't do it anywhere nearly as well as that. So I don't know why everyone hyped up Madoka, but anyway, that pissed me off so much when I watched it. So I'll try to keep hopes down low when I'm watching Higurashi, but I do hope it's messed up. I like messed up shows too. They're a lot of fun. What's like the most messed up show that I enjoyed? I don't even know. God, I have no idea. I can't really think of anything. Yeah, I can't really think of anything. What other stuff was this season? Corpse Party. I liked I watched a Corpse Party playthrough a really long time ago. I liked the playthrough of that. I did not like the anime. I watched some of the anime. Not good. Not good. But I liked the game. I thought the game was fun. It had a lot of... But it had like... The plot is kind of better? Okay, interesting. Yeah, I thought Corpse Party was really spooky. I actually generally don't like scary stuff, but I do like kind of. Oh, I'm a weird person when it comes to this type of stuff. I don't really like horror. It's not my cup of tea, to say the least. I see. I don't really like horror, but I do like weird, messed up things. I don't know. I'm a weird person. So like Made in Abyss for me is like uh the perfect balance, right? Made in Abyss, because it's not horror, but it has like messed up, crazy, cool things, and it has some scary-ish parts, right? Made in Abyss is good, very good. Yeah, Made in Abyss is great. What did I give it? I think like a 9 or a 10 probably. Yeah, a 9. You know what though? I spoiled myself. I messed up. I read the Made in Abyss manga. I read ahead. And that manga is so good. It's so good that it ruined the movie for me. Because I had that typical experience where you're watching the adaptation of a manga and you're just like, this isn't as good, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's just not as good. So that screwed me over a little bit. I don't know if you've seen the movie yet, but that movie was okay. It just wasn't the manga. That's all. It just wasn't the manga. And I didn't even, one of the main reasons I really liked Made in Abyss was because of the unique soundtrack, the Kevin Penkin's soundtrack with the really cool singing, and that, I don't know, I think the language they used was either a really weird like not very commonly used language. I forget what language it was, or they made it up. They either made up a language or it was just like a very uncommon language. I think it's just a very uncommon language that the songs are sung in. But I do think it's a real language. I don't remember though. Anyway, I loved that soundtrack so much. Really, the airy stuff, and I didn't notice as much of that soundtrack, or as much of the parts of the soundtrack that I really loved in the movie. It was okay. There's just not as much of it, I think. So yeah, it didn't wow me that much. But yeah, the movie was okay. I thought the pacing in the movie was very... It's not a real language, so they did make it up. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought it actually was a real language. Cool. It's not a real language, as we thought it would be better with this track to keep a certain amount of ambiguity in the vocals. From Kevin himself. Yeah, Kevin Penkin's such a cool guy. But yeah, I thought the pacing in the movie was very much not as good as in the manga. And the manga was so good. Fuck, the manga is so good. And especially the part that the manga covers after the movie is so good. Oh, I could just go on for days. It's just... The ideas that this mangaka has are so crazy, like, out there. You gotta wonder if they're okay. I don't actually know what gender the mangaka is or who the mangaka is, but you gotta wonder if this person's, like, okay in the head. But man, definitely a gifted human, right? Definitely gifted. Let's see, who is the mangaka? Tsukushi? Tsukushi? Akihito Tsukushi. Oh, what else has he done? Made in Abyss. Literally just Made in Abyss. Oh, what is this? Something else. Star Strings Yori. What is this? Oh, it's a doujinshi. It's a fan work. Okay. Interesting. He's literally just done Made in Abyss. This guy's crazy. Made in Abyss really is one of those like insane, use your entire career to work on type of shows. Anyway, I have to read more of Made in Abyss because I think more has come out. Haven't caught up yet. The other manga I read when I heard that it was a lot better than the anime was The Promised Neverland. I think The Promised Neverland manga is phenomenal. It started getting kind of iffy later on because I think I think a good comparison for The Promised Neverland and Made in Abyss is that I think Made in Abyss has its ending like thought out, and the ideas that are a lot of the ideas for how the show is going to go and where it's going are thought out, whereas a lot of the ideas in The Promised Neverland are not don't feel as thought out, and it kind of feels like, oh well, let's up the scale. We need to up the scale once we get later on. But I don't think you always need to do that. Like if a show doesn't need to have a massive scale in a finale. Like you can have finales that are small in scale and still be really, really, really intense and really impactful, right? I think a lot of shows get that wrong, and a lot of works of media and stuff get that wrong, where they're impactful but small is good. Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, you're writing for the sake of humans, right? And for river spirits. But we're mostly, I mean, I experience emotions the same way that you guys do. I'm like based off a human, right? But one sec. I'm like based off humans, right? We're all modeled after the same thing. So we all experience emotions in the same ways. And we're really better than expressive and mediocre. Expansive and mediocre. Yeah, I agree. And we're really susceptible to like emotional like tugging of heartstrings, right? So you don't have to have, like, trigger shows are great and everything, but you don't have to make things go to space every single time. Like, we don't need to go to space. There are times where it's relevant, like in Gurren Lagann. I think it was really, really, really relevant that, I mean, this is kind of spoiler, but not really. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. Gurren Lagann, I think it's really relevant that things go to space. Whereas with other shows, you don't have to get so expansive. It doesn't need to happen. Like in The Promised Neverland later on, I think isn't there a new Promised Neverland season coming out soon too? I wonder if I'll watch it to compare it to the manga and see how well it does in terms of adaptation. It was relevant and made sense the direction they took. Yeah. But yeah, damn. This upcoming season, nice. Let me see. Winter 2021. Yeah, I heard about it. I did not. I kind of liked the anime. Yeah, there is this upcoming season. I kind of liked the anime. I don't know how I felt about it. Oh, this is the season where they introduce these characters. Yeah, I'll probably watch it to compare it. Oh my gosh. I talked about this a little bit in the Ori and the Blind Forest stream when I was in that one specific part. When I was in that one specific part, it was like kind of a foresty area. But once they leave in The Promised Neverland, I don't know if you've seen the first season, but well, I won't spoil anything. But like, God, this, I guess it kind of is spoilers already. Anyway, the forest in The Promised Neverland is great. Holy crap! I have okay, good. Yeah, once they leave the compound, when they get out there into that forest, it's so just cool. It's so cool. I love that so much. And it really was. I looked back at some of the comic, some of the Bones stuff that I was talking about. There's a comic called Bones. And I really did get this love for that from that comic series. There's another, oh my god, there's an SCP that I really like. That has a similarly really cool story with like a forest in it. You can go read it if you want. It's here, I'll just link it actually in chat. It's there. God, I love that SCP so much. I'll probably do a reading of it eventually, but it's like really long and there's multiple characters, so I don't know if I would even do a good reading of it. I don't generally like that many SCPs, but that's one of them that I'm into. And it's horror, so I'm surprised I like it, but it's not super horror-y. Horror-y. It's not super horror-y. Not horror-y. But yeah. Oh god, another amazing show I love so much is Girls Last Tour. So good. It's so good. Girls Last Tour is so good. I remember there was a period of time where I was struggling to sleep. Heard wonderful things about that show. It's so good. It's a 10 from me. I won't spoil anything. It's hard to spoil stuff for Girls Last Tour. But yeah, I remember there was a time where I was struggling to sleep a lot, so I would just watch an episode of Girls Last Tour every time before I went to sleep. Or I would like play it partially while I'm trying to sleep. So perfect, just so great. The other show I did that with actually was it was funny too because I did it with Hibike Euphonium. It is Hibike Euphonium or Sound Euphonium, whatever you want to call it. Which I also love. I love Sound Euphonium so much. Such a good show. And so pretty too. It's just like it's KyoAni. How can you not love KyoAni stuff, right? But yeah. Really loved Sound Euphonium. It's just like a music anime about girls. It's just girls do music. Trying to get through that one right now, actually. Oh, nice. But yeah, because for me, I recognize the voices so well. I don't know. I can like fall asleep to those episodes. Very weird. Very weird. But yeah. God, yeah. I love anime too much. It's a problem. It's a problem. I just love anime too much. The thing that made me want to watch it more than anything was that a very good friend of mine does episodic reviews for an anime. Did he review Sound Euphonium? And I love reading their commentary on it, so I got myself in gear to watch the show. Nice. Yeah. Let's see what else is there. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just gonna recommend stuff. Or start naming stuff to see if you've seen it. Have I seen Bacchanal? No, I haven't. I have not seen Bacchanal. I think I tried watching Bacchanal. Let me see. Bacchanal's the old timey one, right? That's the only way I know how to describe it. 1930s in Chicago, yeah. No, I have not seen Bacchanal. I don't remember if I tried watching it. I think I sat down to watch it once, but I was in like a really like jittery mood, so I only got through like 3 minutes of it or something, and then I stopped. But no, I do plan to watch Bacchanal at some point. Okay. It's one of my all-time favorite anime, although there is a giant cast of characters. Each one feels unique and interesting. The way the story is told is unique and very, very intriguing. Oh, that should definitely a 10 for me. Yeah. I definitely have to be in the mood to watch some anime, though. Like if I'm not patient, so there are times where I'm very much not in a patient mood, and I just like can't watch anything, and I'm just like, just give me action. And when I just want like action or just fun, like just give me stuff to I don't want any slow scenes, just give me stuff. When I want stuff like that, that's where Haikyuu is perfect for, right? Haikyuu is there's always like another match coming up, or there's always like a training session coming up, or there's always like a big important thing. Like the next episode's always something, right? And I think that's what Haikyuu does really well. Whereas other shows that aren't prioritizing that, Haikyuu's hype as heck, bro. Always something going on. Yeah. But yeah, when there's other shows that don't do that, obviously, because it's. I mean, I don't want to say it's kind of scummy to do that every single episode. Like, I started noticing that Haikyuu was doing it every episode. I'm like, oh my god, there's something every episode, huh? But it's good, right? And there's benefits for that. But it's definitely like a keeps you watching kind of thing. So I don't blame it. But like a lot of other shows don't do that, right? So unless you're in the mood for them, then it's hard to get through them. But yeah, I can totally understand. Whenever someone tells me that they didn't like a show, doesn't even bother me, because I can totally understand. Like Haruhi, if I watched it now, I probably wouldn't like it. But because I watched it as like one of my first anime, I loved it so much. Same. Is that same, huh? Or did you mean to type hat? Same hat. Like, you're wearing the same hat as me. You have the same opinion. Is that what that means? No, I meant hat. You did. I've never actually heard that expression before. I just guessed the meaning. Oh, God. But yeah, I could totally talk about anime forever. And in fact, I would talk about anime so much that my throat would die. So, I'm going to have to stop the stream because I have been talking so loud and so passionately for an hour and 20 minutes that my throat hurts. So I'm going to have to end it. I would totally keep going, but I'm actually like hurting. So we're going to end it here. Actually, I'm going to mention two more shows. I'm going to mention Hinamatsuri. Hinamatsuri because it's like my perfect exact like comedic. It's like one of the funniest anime I've ever seen. Hinamatsuri's hilarious. Yes, I love Hinamatsuri. I gave it a 10 just because it's so funny. I think it's like the perfect comedy. It's exactly my comedic style and what I find funny. And then we have Land of the Lustrous. I loved as well. I thought it was very funny, and I think they transition in Land of the Lustrous. I think they transition really well from like comedy to impactful like plot driven events. Yes. Land of the Lustrous has amazing CG. Absolutely amazing. It's Studio Orange that does it. Same studio that's doing Beastars right now. You know, did I ever finish Beastars Season 1? I don't think I ever finished Beastars Season 1. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm actually looking at Studio Orange. One of the shows that they made that I didn't even know they made was Black Bullet from 2014. Wow. Surprising. Black Bullet was not CG. Black Bullet was so weird. Black Bullet was just seemed like lolly bait to me. Black Bullet was also one of like the first anime I watched. And I enjoyed it. But it really did just seem like lolly bait. There was one scene in Black Bullet that I used as like I had a friend in a game. This is a long story to tell actually. I had a friend in a game who used to like really he wasn't like into lolly stuff, but he was very friendly, but not in a creepy way. It sounds creepy when I say it this way, but he was very friendly with like another friend that we had who wasn't young but was like using a lolly avatar. Anyway, we joked about it a lot that he was just into lollies basically. But yeah, we joked about that a lot. And I used a scene from this show where I forget what the context is, but I used it for like a meme that I sent to the group chat. Where he's like, God, I forget what it is. He's just like standing there and they gets trampled by children. But for some reason, the main character in the show is like not into kids at all, but just always gets trampled by them. This was a weird anime. It was a weird anime. A trip, an absolute trip. But yeah. God. Yeah, super weird. And so his stepping fetish was formed. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Well, my Google Chrome has crashed, so I can no longer go through my anime list, so I guess I need to end here anyway. Whether I like it or not, I need to save my voice. But thank you for the stream. It was a wonderful time. Yeah. I could honestly talk about anime forever. So yeah, that was that stream. Loved hearing your opinions. And I hope you get some good rest. Yes, I will have to do that. Must rest my voice. Must make sure I do not cough. Feel that. Same hat. Same hat. Same hat. Yeah, same hat. Make sure I do not cough too much. Make sure I do not die. And yeah, I had fun. Thank you for hanging out this whole time. Thank you for staying around, sticking around. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a later stream, but yeah. I'm thinking, I don't know, am I going to make, oh god. Am I going to make a schedule for this week? I'm not sure if I should. Sorry for not making it to the other streams. No worries, no worries. You have stuff to do. I understand. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should schedule for next week, or for the rest of this week at least. It would be like 6 more days. I don't think I will. I might schedule a couple streams specifically, and then I'll just do rogue streams for the days that I haven't scheduled. I think that's what I'll do. I was also thinking of getting an emulator, probably a DS emulator. I mean, getting a DS and hooking it up with a capture card is what I mean, actually. And playing some of my old games from my childhood that I liked a lot. Because when I was a kid, I played on my DS for the most part. I played a lot of DS games. I also want to play a Kirby game. I want to play a Kirby game really badly. One of those older Kirby games that came out like around the same time as the Kirby game that I played a lot when I was a kid was called Squeak Squad, and I loved that game so much. But I should definitely play Kirby Superstar. Which one is that? I want to play one that's like Squeak Squad, because I know there are others in the same style. Kirby Superstar. My Chrome has unfrozen. I can look it up. Ah, yes. This is in the same style. Yeah, I should play this one. Yeah. I'd love to play this. Nice. Okay. I'll look into that one. I'll see if there's any other ones that look good too. I will see. Oh, what's up, Cass? Yo, if you planning on playing Kirby games, I also vote for Kirby Superstar Ultra. Okay, we have 2 votes for Kirby Superstar Ultra. I'll probably do that one then. I probably will. You joined in right as I was ending the stream, but hi. Yeah, I'm thinking about playing Kirby. Definitely. Anyways, this will be the end of the stream. Thank you very much for coming along. Thank you to both of you, and thanks, Cass, for showing up near the end. Yeah, I don't know if I have my outro screen set up for an outro, but let's find out. Oh, it is nice. Okay. Have a nice night or day or whatever time of day it is, everybody. Thank you very much. Bye. I really need a separate screen from the outro that's not loading. What's loading? The end? I'm loading a black screen. I really need a new one.